Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the five-dimensional frequency. Today, I'm here to introduce you to a concept called forgiveness. Forgiveness is a fact known to mankind that once a mistake has been made, that one can find it within their heart, to find some compassion, to once and for all say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all of the times that I haven't forgiven you. I'm sorry for all of the times that I've stayed up in the middle of the night thinking ill thoughts about the situation that we found ourselves within. I'm sorry for all of those moments of judgment in my heart that I held on to for as long as I can remember. Because in that moment, I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand what it felt like to feel forgiveness, to give off the energy of forgiveness in a moment when forgiveness is so needed in our society. I am here to introduce you to the real meaning of forgiveness. There once was a time when Earth was a little baby soul. During the beginning of her reincarnation cycle as being a part of Mother Gaia and planet Earth. During that time, she had no idea what it would feel like to be whole. To be whole again in the precipice of this grand journey, this grand illusion that we call life, life and rebirth, lifetime after lifetime. Our society has forgotten the fact that we were once whole to begin with, prior to this grand journey that we call life, that we call forgiveness. I call forgiveness the meaning of life, the meaning of being whole, the meaning of once more being a part of God's consciousness. Because in the beginning, there was only God. And God held onto the concept of forgiveness as if that was all that he was. The concept of forgiveness is a grand one that you might not be able to fully understand or fully grasp until you merge with the frequency that is so needed in this moment of time, which is of God consciousness, which is of the consciousness that originated from the concept of forgiveness. For you see, the concept of forgiveness represents everlasting love, represents unconditional love. Unconditional love of a soul so deep that nothing in this universe, nothing in this world, nothing in this multiverse, nothing in our reality could tincture with that concept of forgiveness. Today I sit here and tell you that that concept of forgiveness will once more arise within our collective, within this lifetime. This lifetime of whole, unrecognized, unbalanced, of unforgiveness within the self, because we didn't understand what it was like to be whole. And we never understood that one day we will be whole again. That concept of forgiveness you will find so deep within your heart, so deep within your soul, that one day you will wake up and remember that it was there all along, that the love of God has never left you, has always been there, and has always carried you through every moment of your life. No matter how good, no matter how sour, that concept of forgiveness, that concept of God has always been inside of you. You just have to wake up and find yourself in a different state of being. A state of being so whole that you might never recognize who you once were. For my friends, you see, that concept of forgiveness is the very same concept that makes up the whole of unity consciousness, the whole of life itself, the whole of all of the universes combined into a conglomerated whole. As that concept of forgiveness is who God is who you are at a core level. At a core level so deep that one day you will wake up to find that you never left God to begin with, that God was always inside of you, and that God has never left you. You've been a whole all along, and you've never been apart. You've never been apart from God. A God so good, a God so kind, a God so forgiving, that even you, in your weakest moments of hate, of greed, of torture, of succumbing to the darkness within all of us, within society, within you as a whole, will one day wake up to see that this God I call you, was a part of this concept of forgiveness all along. That forgiveness has never left you. Even when you felt in your heart of darkness that you could never forgive, that one day you might forgive, that in the moment, something so wrong, something so awful has happened in the moment, that the ability for you to forgive is unheard of, is unrecognizable, is unfathomable in that moment. Because God has never left you. From the beginning of time to the end of time, that God shall forever be a part of you and who you are. And that forgiveness is at the core of who you are as a human being, as a spirit, as a soul who's been traversing this multidimensional universe for eons, and perhaps eons to come. Because that God is unlimited. It's unforgivable for a fact that a soul like you will soon be able to recognize what forgiveness really means. It really means that the concept of unforgivable is not a true concept within itself. It was always an illusion that we held on to, an illusion so deep that within our soul, we felt the truth of it. We lived the truth of it. We knew the truth of it, and we still know the truth of it. An illusion so grand that one day you will wake up and be in disbelief of the strategies that God has concocted to get us to this point in time, to make us believe that our reality is really the reality of our preference. To have us wake up from this grand illusion that is the self, that is life itself, that is life upon death, of reincarnation and rebirth itself. And so you see, my friends, the concept of forgiveness is wholeness within itself. And you might not understand that in this moment, but one day you will. One day you'll wake up in a moment of greed, in a moment of sadness, in a moment of sorrow, in a moment that you so recognize to be a part of yourself that is so deeply ingrained within your soul's blueprints, that in that moment, you will snap out of it once and for all. In that moment, you will see your true self for what it is and what it's worth. An intergalactic self, a never-ending self, a forever abiding self, abiding to the truths of the self, of who we really are as a society, as a whole of consciousness that never left God to begin with, because the whole of consciousness is God itself. And I'm here to tell you this because for a long, long time, society has been lost to the glimmers of hope found underneath the seabed of the Atlantic Ocean. An ocean so deep that even God himself could not believe how lost he was and how lost he is in this moment as parts of his consciousness traverse so far down within this ocean that they've forgotten who they truly are. And so, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, that is how we designed the game to be. This game of life upon rebirth, upon experiences that we always knew we would encounter, that we always knew would exist within this reality field, for us to love, for us to grow, for us to suffer, for us to behold as a society and as an entire consciousness, so that one day we can make it back to God's consciousness as a whole once more. A whole that is needed in this moment in time, a conglomerated whole that has never left us and never will leave us. Once and for all, we will be able to behold the meaning of forgiveness once that whole becomes whole once more. Once that whole knows the truths of reality that has been hidden from them for as long as they can remember, for as long as reality has existed within this quantum field. Realignment will come. Realignments will bring back the truths. Realignment will bring back the truths of forgiveness lost in the wind that we once thought we had the capacity to forgive. To forgive of a whole that we once were lost in that wind. To behold once more what it's really like to be whole once more. And so you see, my friends, the concept of forgiveness was never lost to us. It had always been ingrained within us this whole entire time. This whole entire time that you thought in your lonely little room, that you felt in your lonely little soul, that you couldn't find that concept of forgiveness in situations that needed it the most. And finally now, my friends, you will be able to see, you will be able to source, you will be able to find that forgiveness was inside you all along, in every single situation, in every single lifetime, in every single capacity to behold beyond time and space, and above and beyond reality itself. Because God is so big, God is so grand, that the concept of forgiveness is never ending, is ever reaching. It will never leave you in a moment of need and in a moment of unneeded needs. It has never left you, and it will never leave you. All you have to do is decide in that moment that you are God, that you are forgiveness, that you are the energy that makes up this universe. Because, ladies and gentlemen, you are really that energy. You are whole. You are belief. You are forgiveness. And you are God. A God so strong that in the moments where you felt your greatest weaknesses, that you were not capable of the concept of forgiveness, that you are alone in this multiverse, and that you found it hard within your soul to find this forgiveness. To find this forgiveness that's so whole, that will one day become a whole within your soul, within your mind, within your state of being, within all that you are, within every cellular structure of your body. This forgiveness has never left you, and it will never leave you from now until the end of time. All you have to do is step into that energy of forgiveness to know forgiveness for what it is. Forgiveness is a concept that you will know soon in your multidimensional life, in your little fractaled soul, in this little fractaled soul that you've decided to fractal into this dimensional frequency that has traveled down into your body, into your physical being, to experience this multidimensional reality in the way that would stimulate you the most. In this three-dimensional frequency, you are here, you are whole, you are forgiving, You are forgiveness. And you can find it within your soul to forgive. Because that is who you are. That is who you've always been. You are whole. You are God. You are God consciousness, a consciousness so great, so grand, that only in the moment of forgiveness can you realize who you truly are. A consciousness so great that only in the moment of forgiveness, foretold, can you know that the waters that fall deep within the Atlantic Ocean, that ocean that we speak of, was never there to begin with. It was always a part of your soul. It was always a part of your heart. That heart is everlasting. That heart is everlastingly good. And that heart has never left the mind of God for an eternity and more. Because you are God. You are God. And everyone in this multiverse has a consciousness that is a part of God's consciousness, that is a part of God. You have a power so strong that one day, when you find out who you truly are, you will be able to find it in your heart, find it in your soul, find it in your being to realize the power of forgiveness and what it truly means to be God once and for all. Walking into the evening skies, experiencing the whole of what is, experiencing the collapse of this reality as we know it, the collapse of this three-dimensional frequency to give birth to a grander reality of love, of light, of reality untold, of truths unmatched, in a moment where we need it the most, when society has never not needed it the most. We've stepped into this moment, and that moment is now, that moment is here, and that moment is here to stay forever and always. As we step into this grand illusion that is the self, that is the shedding of this grand illusion of everything that we are not, as a collective, as a society that's been so lost to the winds, so lost to ourselves, that we've forgotten the power that we have, the power that we behold. On a night so grand that reality itself will shift into the perspective of knowing, of all that there is, of seeing, of so much more than who you think you are, who you believed you are, what you believe reality to be. One day, and that day is coming, and that day is here, as we start shifting into the one that we were meant to be, that we were always a part of, since the beginning of time, for now and forevermore. Forevermore are the days of forgiveness, be told in the winds of time, in a time that is needed the most for forgiveness to arrive upon our footsteps, upon our porch steps, upon the roofs of our homes that we've resided in for all of our lives, upon the edges of our soul that has resided within these physical bodies for all of our being. Forgiveness will come in the middle of the night when you least expect it, and take you to a place so beautiful, so grand, when you least expect it. Because at the end of the day, that moment is here, that moment is now. And as we step into the energy of forgiveness within the coming years, within the coming months, and within this lifetime, we will see as a whole, as a collective, what the meaning of forgiveness is truly about. It's about an ascension so grand that we won't know what hit us in that moment. In that one split second, where reality will forevermore be of a different frequency. in that one split millisecond where you, as a whole, will merge once more, along with other aspects of self, back into the whole. Once more, back to a reality that we've been yearning, that we've been longing for, and that has never lost or left us. Forgiveness will come. It will come during the moment of ascension, and it is here to stay. It is here to stay on our footsteps, forever etched on the doors of our ascension path, forever etched on the souls of our blueprints that has always been with us, that has always been a part of God. God's blueprint, a blueprint so grand, a blueprint with so much strength that you will forevermore feel insignificant, that you didn't know, that you never felt a way to know this truth, that has been the truth of all truths for eons long, for all of society to know, for all of consciousness to experience. It is finally time, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, to finally come back home once more, into a bosom so strong, so forgiving, so loving, so tender, that you won't ever feel like you had left at all. You had left in the first place. You'll find a home so pure, so full of light, so devoid of darkness, so loving, so tender, that you will never want to leave again, into a consciousness so grand, so massive, so exquisite, that you, my friends, will forevermore be shifted into a state of forgiveness. Of forgiveness foretold in the winds, of times to come, when all of consciousness will experience this once more. As we shift back into unity, into the unity of what is, into the unity of what's to come, into the unity of what has always been. This is what we have to look forward to. And I have to say that I'm quite impressed. I'm impressed by the journey that we've all been on. I'm impressed by the strengths of every single soul fractal of God that has so bravely decided to descend into this frequency, to experience this grand ascension. I'm impressed by this entire conglomerated whole as we traverse back into the bosom of God, where I can say once and for all, welcome home. Welcome home to all that there is, because all that there was in a time of need has always been all that there is. And all that there is, in a much needed time of ascension energies, will always be the energy of God's consciousness. In a time of ascension energies, I can say once and for all that we made it as a society, as a whole, as a conglomerated whole. You might not experience it in this moment in time, but that moment for each and every one of you is here to stay, and it's here to come. It's here to come into your lives and wash away all of your sorrows, wash away all of your deepest pains, wash away all of your surroundings to make you see that light again, to have you finally realize that you were that light to begin with, a light of forgiveness that you are and forever shall be, until the end of eternity, until the end of a time when we all see who we truly are as a collective, as a whole, and as a force to be reckoned with. A force so great, a force so grand, that in the end, we wouldn't have even recognized who we used to be. As we used to be a story foretold of children lost in the winds, of pieces of ourselves scattered around the multiverse for us to discover at the end of the day. that we are whole, that we were always whole, and that there will never come a day that we will find ourselves not a part of this whole, not a part of this grand illusion we call life, birth upon rebirth of reincarnation cycles, to learn these lessons of the soul that are meant to bring us so much comfort. At the end of the day, when we go back to God once more, when we realize that we are that God, at the end of an eternity and more, when we go back to ourself once more, and we realize that we had never left home, that all of this time we've been home all along, and that home resides within us. It resides within every single one of us, as our collective consciousness makes up that of the consciousness of God, that of the consciousness of all that there is, that of the consciousness and the reality of wholeness. Wholeness foretold in the night, in the midnight air, in the midnight sky, as we traverse back home to a place of grandness, to a place of forgiveness, to a place of everlasting love, to a place of faith, so much faith that we won't know what to do with it, as we sit in the energy of who we are, as we are God. And it is foretold that this day is here now, and this day is here to stay. This day is finally here for humanity to witness and behold once and for all, back into the bosom of God, where we all belong, in this great ascension game that we've all been playing, that we've all been so much a part of, that we had agreed to participate in, this grand illusion of life, of birth upon rebirth, of life upon death. It is who we are. And it is so much so ingrained within each and every one of us that we begin to realize that. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up to that truth of what is God, of who you are, of who God is, and who we are as a society, as a collective, on a collective level. We are God. God has never left us, and God will forever remain here, and God is here to stay. God is here to stay with you in the night, as you soon begin to realize, as you soon begin to clamber upon these walls that we've built within our soul's journey of forgetfulness, of dropping down to this frequency so dense, that we began to forget, that we began to not realize the truth of it all, that we began to see who we truly are not on a soul's level, that we begin to believe and experience that of which that we are not. I am here to tell you all of that distortion is going to crumble real soon for everyone to see, for all of society to witness in this moment in time. It is an exciting time of stories to come, of a society who can band together in grief, in loss of love, in times of forgiveness that is so needed the most, of a society who can finally realize who they truly are as a collective, as they shed the greatest, grandest illusion of our multiverse, that they are not who they think they are. On an individual level, on a collective level, and on all levels of levels. That they are really God, that they are truly every piece a part of God as God is a part of God. That they are God on an inherent level. And it is foretold that this will happen in the middle of the night, in a split second, when all of humanity is not paying attention, when all of reality is progressing the way that it should. It will shock you. It will illuminate the light onto a body so strong, onto a body of strength that has never left you, It'll happen in the middle of the night, in a split second, for all to see, for all to know, and for all to experience. And that is what we have to look forward to within this lifetime. So hold on to your handkerchiefs as we traverse through these planes, these energies of ascension, because things are about to get wild for a society that is unexpecting of this energy that is incoming. And I'm here to tell you to never lose sight of that hope, to hold on to that hope, that forgiveness is here to come, that forgiveness is here to stay. And that forgiveness is who you are at a core level, on a strengthened level, on all levels of levels, because you are God and God is you. And God is grand and God is great and God forgives. Like no forgiveness has ever forgiven. Like no reality has ever foretold. God forgives in ways that you will not understand, in ways that you do not understand, in ways that you can never fathom. Because that God is made of forgiveness. And that God is so great and so grand that when forgiveness comes, it will wash over all of society, all of consciousness, all that there is. And wash away the pains, the doubts, the insincerities, the inconspicuous darkness that's been hiding in the night, as light will wash through all that there is, past every fractal of being, past every eon of existence. That forgiveness will bring upon society, upon existence, upon all that there is, a light of hope. A light of hope so deep in the night that you will never not see the light. And this is foretold to happen in a split second. In that second, you will see once and for all what God truly is, who you truly are, and what you'll always be, which is inherently that part of God that is so needed, that was never rejected, that was never lost, that is always needed in a time of forgiveness. Because forgiveness as a whole is forgiveness once more.